I was in speech class, and we were doing this like, okay, so there were 5 people, and you have one heart donation. They each need a heart. So there were 5 people, and we were talking about who needs the heart most, and we're listening 1 through 5 who needs the heart most. And so we went into our groups, and we decided on who needs the heart most on a range of 1 to 5. And the guy who was last for us was the guy who was like suspected to be in the mafia, which I found was really funny because like mafia and Russians and yeah, vodka. So what we did, and then we did that, and she's like, is it fair if you didn't know about the emotional appeals? Like there was this one girl who had a bad income, and she had a bad income, and she supports 3 children, and she's a widow. And she has no savings, so she's in the heart more. But if we didn't know that, we probably would have chosen someone else because, like, if we didn't know that, because she had the emotional appeal, and we didn't know about anything about anyone else. So everyone picked her, or the youngest guy who was 23, and he had more to live up to. But like, he's a B average, and he's in college, which is really bad. So we were looking at that, and so they were talking about. Then we started talking about job interviews, and now they don't care about the emotional appeal. They care about how well you are going to be at your job. And they were like, they might not say children that have divorced parents, wouldn't get hired as much. And I was like, that's totally messed up. And people were like, because people in my class were like, children with divorced parents might not be as stable and stuff. And I'm like, screw all you guys. So I raised my hand. And I was like, and I raised my hand, I'm like, personally, I'm happy that my parents are divorced because they're not happy together, and if they're unhappy, then I'm unhappy. So I'm happy they're divorced because if they're happy, then I'm happy. And so my teacher's like, oh, so it turned out to be a good thing for you. I'm like, yeah, and it's just for everybody else. He's taking a video of me.
Мы идем кофе пить.
Okay.
Мы идем пить кофе.
And then we were talking about, like, 2 people have lung cancer. And then she says, but you don't know anything about them, but both of them need lung cancer and they're 8. Don't pan over, I'm way more important. Oh, that was a weird noise. Like a dying animal sound. So it was like, they both need lung cancer, they both have lung cancer, and they both need a lung, or 2 or whatever, and you can only give it to one person, and you don't know the emotional anything about them, and you only know their age, and like if they're male or female. But what if you found out that one is a smoker and one isn't? And I'm like, and she's like, does that matter? Does it change your opinion on who gets the lung and who doesn't? And everyone's like, no, that shouldn't matter. And I'm like, yeah, it should. The person smoked. They deserve to die because they knew it was gonna come. And if they smoked, cough, cough, mom and dad, cough. And I was like, I'm so against smoking. And like, I was the one from in the class that stood out from everyone else because everyone else thought one way. And if like one person said it, everyone would just follow along with that one person. And I'm like, no, you guys need to think for yourselves. And so I was saying everything opposite from another person, and then everyone started to agree with me after I said what I was going to say because they couldn't think for themselves. And once someone said something, they just all said, yeah, that's why the reason. I'm like, no, this is the reason. Like the divorced parents and the smoking, and everyone just like blonde and stupid. And yeah, that's the end of my story.
Cool.